Welcome, friends. We've got a great night coming up for you on RPG Limit Break as the 2020 Dragon Warrior Randomizer Summer Tournament rolls on. If you were expecting the scheduled match of Guelph 35 versus Hyro Fellows tonight, that one will not be displayed. Had to be rescheduled due to some poor weather, but we do instead have a match that should be just as good. NESCardinality versus Thilotilo. Thanks everybody for joining us tonight. Lord of the Synth is our restreamer. Joyzel NYC Guy is our tracker. And joining me in the booth tonight is LOZ Cards Fan 23. Hello, sir.
It's great to be here for this. This, I believe, is the first of the Wraith round matchups here, beginning with NESCardinality and Thilotilo. NESCardinality defeated Braxis Muse in his last matchup, while Thilotilo, unfortunately, you ended up being the victim of that one, Archfield.
I was the victim.
It was a close one. It was within 5 minutes, and both of you turning in sub 70 times, which is going to win a lot of Dragon Warrior Randomizer races, but not that particular one.
Yep, not so in that race. And Tilo, both of these racers have been around for a long time. Of course, this is NESCard's 5th tournament. The tournament's been going for 5 years. Has yet to capture a title, but is always right there at the top of the SRL rankings. So those who followed DWR closely know what he's all about. And Tilo's about one of the most knowledgeable racers you might ever come across. So, but this is the third time in the last 3 years they've had to face against each other in the tournament. NESCard has won both of those previous matchups. So could today be Tilo's chance? I guess we'll see momentarily.
Yeah, absolutely here. I mean, you have NESCardinality, who, as you mentioned, definitely one of the best in the business when it comes to the Dragon Warrior Randomizer, and you do see him ranked near or at the top most nights. I mean, he's definitely one to watch out for. Maybe this will be his year, but Thilotilo, as you mentioned, has a lot of knowledge of this himself. He's got a very good ranking in number 18, so, we've already seen a lot of upsets in this tournament, including the number 1 seed, Mr. Holmes, already eliminated from the competition. So anybody can win at any given time.
Absolutely. That's a common thread that you really see across the Dragon Warrior Randomizer tournaments. There's just a lot of things that can happen. You've got the element of exploration luck with these randomized maps. And so it's always difficult to see. There's a lot of strong competitors, and anybody can beat anybody on any given night. But here we go. Countdown has started, and we'll be kicking off this race shortly. Of course, our racers will be competing to see who can be the first to defeat the Dragon Lord. In order to do that, they need some quest items, but they start with 2 chests in the throne room here, plus a key, and it looks like they're going to come up with a second key, as well as a gold chest, so they can fill up on magic keys right away should they choose to do so. Also, the spells of Sleep, Stop, and Return for this start.
Wow, that's a pretty good start. I mean, Stop spell, if you have enemies that either have heal more, hurt more, or sleep themselves, I mean, the Stop spell is really going to come into use, provided that the enemies are not super duper resistant to the Stop spell. And of course, the Return spell is nice because anytime you're in the overworld, you can return back to Tantacle Castle at any time.
Exactly. So the Sleep and Stop spell both could be really important mitigations here to have them at the start of the seed. They've got 12 magic points. That'll give them 6 casts of either of those. They've got 20 hit points, but on only 5 attack points. There's a limited number of things they might be able to defeat in the early going. They're going to struggle to do damage against anything except slimes, and we see our first divergence here as Tilo's going to head to the basement and NESCard's going to head straight to the treasury.
Alright, we'll take a look at the treasury on NESCardinality side. I see a cave on Thilotilo's side. There is the Stones of Sunlight. Very interesting.
Oh, wow. And Erdrick's sword in the first chest. Wow. So forget what I said about the damage output, I guess. There's a whole lot of things they can take on now in the first couple of zones. So this one should be off to a quick start, including Gold Grind looking at here on NESCard's screen.
Now, NESCardinality taking a little bit of a chance here doing an early gold grind. I mean, we have no idea what kind of enemies lie outside. I mean, if you've got something with DL2 breath, it's going to send them back to start. Why is that important, you might ask? Well, anytime you take a death in Dragon Warrior Randomizer, you're going to lose half of the gold that you've accumulated. And that's why NESCardinality decided to only bank to about 9,000 gold pieces. Just in case there is no silver shield. But if there's like some good armor, magic armor or some shields or whatnot, it could be a valuable purchase.
Exactly, and like we said, they do have those mitigation spells to start with, so there are some enemies they can put to sleep as they try to explore. That'll give them a free run chance should that sleep spell be successful. So even if there isn't a town super close, they might be able to get somewhere, but it looks like they've got some swamp in their way at least. Yeah, got to get through that swamp first, and they can't do it just yet.
Oh, that is not good news. So at least there's just one swamp tile that NESCardinality has to get through. But instead, he finds the Jerk Cave. That's right, folks. The all-important rainbow drop, the Jerk's favorite candy, and he's not going to just dish it out for free, Archfield.
No. You've got to show up with the Stones of Sunlight, the Staff of Rain, and Erdrick's token. And they've already got one of those. The Stones of Sunlight were in the treasury. As we see level 2 coming in for both racers, these first couple of levels should be quite fast with Erdrick's sword in hand.
NESCardinality and Thilotilo both got level 2, and they learned a new spell just a bit outside. Oh, and Warlocks, they've got Hurtmore, and that's going to cost NESCardinality half of his gold. And look at this.
Who else has got Hurtmore?
Level 3 has Hurtmore for Thilotilo, so he'll take a brief lead. He'll take the intentional death back to Tentacle Castles, but there, of course, is a gold grind that they can do later on, because, again, as I mentioned, every time you take a death, you're going to lose half of the money that is in your pocket. We have not seen any towns. Unfortunately, or fortunately for NESCardinality, did get the stop spell off on the Warlocks, so now they can't do Hurtmore.
Exactly, so he's going to jump straight up to level 4, actually. This will be 2 levels at once, getting to 36 experience points. 13 power, 10 agility, 4 attack power, and it looked like a magic point total in the 20s, which is huge for this point in the scene.
6, 2, and 1 for Thilotilo. That's what level 4 gave. To get to level 5, need to get to 82 points. Poltergeist, as long as they don't have anything nasty, heal could be worse.
Yeah, heal's pesky on enemies like that, but they do have enough attack power, and with Hurtmore in hand, they can do a lot of damage here. NESCard's going to one-shot this knight, in fact, and he's going to get his next level as well. So he'll jump right up to level 5 with that big kill. 17 power, 5 speed, 1 hit point. NESCard did try his last Hurtmore on that green dragon, but they do have a little bit of hurt resist. That one had no effect, and he's going to get sent back to start. But when you're so close to start, you may as well take your Hurtmore chances against those stronger enemies. If you get sent back, it's not that big a deal.
It was very unfortunate there for NESCardinality. A 1 in 8 chance that Hurtmore wasn't going to work on the green dragon, and that will send him back to start. And Thilotilo also getting sent back to start.
Yeah, I think that might have been the first time he saw that Warlock cast, and now he knows he can either Hurtmore or stop spell it in the future. Speaking of, another Warlock for NESCard, and that's going to send him up to level 6.
Here are the numbers for him. We've got 11 power, 8 speed, 3 hit points, 18 magic points. That's a pretty good level there.
Absolutely. I mean, they're up to 11 Hurtmores already, so they don't have any healing yet, but they can certainly deal out a lot of damage, and sometimes your best defense is a good offense when you're trying to explore early. They can certainly Hurtmore enough stuff down. HP still a little laggardly, but the strength is climbing at a decent rate so far, too.
Well, a metal slime that ambushes NESCardinality saying, "You're not going to take my 255 experience points. I'm just going to run off."
Those ambush runs are always hilarious. You're just like, hey, I caught you by surprise. Now I'm leaving.
Well, simultaneous deaths as the Green Dragon and the Star Wyvern respectively send our runners back to the castle.
Yep, you'll have this. Only 11 defense power for Tilo, 19 for NESCard, and they're not going to be able to take many hits from those stronger monsters on 34 and 30 hit points respectively. So it's really, you either have to get first move and hope that your Hurtmore kills off whatever you're trying to fight, or you're probably going to be sent back.
And Hurtmore's, even with the maximum rolls, no guarantee because Green Dragons could have up to 72 hit points. Ooh, Thilotilo running into a Stone Man and can't put the Stone Man to sleep.
Oh. Yeah, that's a rough one. The Stone Men only have 1 in 8 sleep resist, so much like we saw NESCard miss that hurt more earlier, Tilo just got bopped by that Stone Man after missing a sleep, which is fairly uncommon.
Never
But he's
tell
gonna
his runners the odds.
he's gonna opt out of the cave. NESCard does take down this Star Wyvern, though. He's gonna get level 7.
Look at the numbers that NESCard's going to get. 4 power, 3 speed, 1 hit point, no magic points, and a new spell, which is Hurt.
That's not much to sneeze at there. You can do some things with Hurt. In a seed like this one, for instance, if you run into a werewolf or something, you could Hurt more it. If you don't kill it, you can fling the Hurt afterward and it won't dodge that. So there's some limited uses for Hurt even on a seed like this one, but for the most part, I mean, Hurt more is still going to be your go-to. Not really what you want to see. You're mostly looking for healing there.
So Thilotilo got 1 hit off of the metal slime, but then decided to run away. But NESCardinality has found Cole is going to buy some goodies, a small shield, and leather armor to give him a boost on defense. Going to check the tile, and we have Erdrick's token, another one of the pieces of the puzzle to get the rainbow drop from the jerk.
There we go. So just the harp left to find. They will have to trade that for the Staff of Rain, of course, too. But here we are, about 8.5 minutes into the seed. We've got Hurtmore, we've got the big stick, we've got the stones and the token for NESCard, and I'm sure it'll only be a matter of time before Tilo comes across his token. So we're off to the races here, folks.
While you were talking about that, Thilotilo, fortune struck him. He was able to take down a metal slime to get very close to NESCardinality's total.
That'll close the gap in a hurry. He was lagging a little bit behind on experience there, but a good metal slime kill, he's right back in the thick of this.
Certainly.
It's still early, of course. Experience leads only mean so much at this stage of the game, but whenever you can get a kill like that, it goes a long way toward helping you along.
No luck for NESCard on his metal slime attempt. And now he runs into a Stone Man, going to try to put it to sleep. He's successful. And Thilotilo is successful into leveling up to level 7. It was 4-3-1-0 and the Hurt spell. So now both runners looking at level 7. Level 8, 600 points needed.
Yeah, so we're moving just about a level a minute here. Not quite, but we're in the neighborhood at least.
Having that Hurtmore is very useful, and especially against wolves where you can one-shot them very easily. They give you 40 experience points. A Ghost, NESCardinality not going to bother, and Thilotilo, of course, not going to bother with the slime. He's playing as a red slime.
Yep, both of them using their usual sprites. Tilo as that red slime, and NESCard as that Dragon Warrior 1 hero. So Tilo looks like he's sticking in these hills kinda to the east of Tanagel, just looking to gather some experience, possibly looking to try to get a heal spell. But he is moving on now, further toward the east.
Ooh, and Knights have L2 breath, and that's going to be the end for NESCardinality. He'll be sent back to start. You don't like to see that.
Yeah, you certainly don't. It's either get or be gotten by those knights at the moment. If they're going to use that breath a lot, then your Hurtmore is always guaranteed to kill it, but if they get first action, then you're done for.
Should be an easy kill of the Warlock, and it is another 28 points for NESCard. And a Poltergeist playing chicken against Thilotilo doesn't want any part of him.
Yeah, you see both racers right now using their Hurtmore. Basically, the limit is that Warlock. They're willing to spend that for the 28 experience they'll get for the Warlock, but they're not really going to blow away anything that gives them much less than that. They can kind of leave that stuff alone and be a little bit more choosy at this stage. Looks like Tilo's got a town and Charlock castle on his screen. He's going to be able to take out this knight. We'll see if he's able to make it to that town.
He does make it to town, and we have Cantlin, and it looked like Charlock was right next door.
Yeah, so 2 important locations cleared here as Tilo has made his way a little bit to the northeast here, it looks like. He's probably going to... Well, let's see. He's got 35 hit points. He's going to have to load up on herbs if he wants a chance at looking at the coordinates, and I don't necessarily know that it's a guarantee that he'd even make it across the barrier tiles, so he might... He's given it some thought, I think.
Looks like he may be making that play. An Axe Knight for NESCardinality gets 130 points and level 8, taking him down with the Hurtmore 2. 18 speed, 2, and 10. Nice agility on that one.
Yeah, everything's shaping up pretty well so far, except for that hit point total, which is just a little bit behind, and they're going to suffer for it here. NESCard getting one shot by that Demon Knight Hurtmore. So they're troublesome as usual, but that's the big problem right now. If you get any kind of spells, any Hurtmore is going to kill you most of the time on 37 HP. Of course, Dragonlord 2 Breath way out of range, so anything like that you catch is going to send you packing. So the hit points are certainly a concern at level 8.
Like Thilotilo wanted to make absolutely sure he was wearing the dragon scale before selling it, because even though he's going to sell it, as long as he's wearing it, he'll still enjoy that extra 2 points of defensive boost.
Exactly. You can boot that from your inventory after you've equipped it, and you'll still retain the defense bonus, much like the Fighter's Ring, which is an item that gives you +2 attack power. You can get rid of it after you've equipped it and maintain that bonus as well. So... heads up there to clear some inventory space. It looks like Tilo wants to use it for some fairy water. Going to try to repel some of the stuff that he doesn't want to hurt more. I think that's a smart play.
Looks like NESCardinality is going to be on his way to Cantlin as well. He sees Charlock, and of course Cantlin not too far away. And we do have a silver shield here in Cantlin, 14,800 gold. So that gold grind that we saw earlier could come into play if that's what they decide they want to do.
Absolutely, and Cantlin's pretty close to home, so that's a reasonable purchase if you decide to make that later in the seed. They're probably going to want to try to find a dungeon first, and Tilo does look like he's going to try at least to traverse the barrier tiles with his 6 herbs here.
And I think NESCardinality might be making that same play as he's going to go ahead and purchase the maximum number of herbs that he can. And he will get to the old man. Do we have coordinates? It is 29 north, 51 west. That very well could be countable. So it looks like this may potentially be a situation where Gwaylen's going to have to wait for another seed to find her knight in shining armor.
Entirely possible. I think NESCard's seen to the north, there's a little bit of a spot where the coast interrupts, or there's like a sort of stream that interrupts the land there. And as NESCard just picked up the chest in Freebie Cave, I did look away. What was that?
I didn't see it either.
Hopefully it wasn't. If it's super important, chat will tell us, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So, in any event, I'm not sure exactly how countable it is. They might have to go around. We know they can at least go to the northeast because that's where Cantlin and Charlock are. So I think we'll probably have to see a little bit more of the map before we try to figure that out as NESCard gets to level 9.
4, 1, 2, 3. Right numbers, wrong order.
For sure. He's hoping those rolled a little bit differently there. So Tilo's headed to the Spike Tile and Swamp Cave. This is underneath Tanagel Castle. He's going to find a blue dragon. So not a terrific Hurtmore target, but if he lands 2 in a row, it'll go down.
Well,
and blue
unfortunately, they're the ones that have the Hurtmore, and Tilo's going to have to run away. And looking at Hurtmore, they're quite resistant to it. It's about a 7 in 16 chance that they're going to dodge it. So you only have about a 1 in 4 chance of landing back-to-backs.
Exactly. So it can help you clear a spot, but really you don't want to be grinding blue dragons that way. If Tilo had happened upon an Axe Knight or something like that there, he can run out his resources and be happy that it's a good decision. But unfortunately with that blue dragon, something he's going to just head away from right now, although he is going to continue through Swamp Cave.
And NESCardinality, he is in the grave that you would normally find. I believe it's Garen's grave. when Thilotilo getting ambushed by a stone man, he's going to get sent back to start. NESCardinality takes down another Star Wyvern. He is getting very close to level 10. This Warlock won't quite do it, so he's going to run away from it. But this Magic Wyvern will do it for NESCardinality, and it's a one-shot, and that will be level 10 for NESCardinality. The numbers. No power, 6 speed, 7 HP, 8 magic points, and we've learned heal.
Well, good news there at least is they can now survive a hurt more as long as their HP is topped off on level 10, but still in kind of a disappointing range, the HP on level 10 only 46. That's on the much lower side.
NESCardinality found some gold and some fairy water, and he'll cast outside to get back into the overworld. Thilotilo takes down a Wraith Knight, and now stumbles on a green dragon, going for the hurt more. It's enough for a one-shot kill. Very nice, 135 points. That will send him to level 9.
Yep, that's a big boost there for Tilo. Taking down that green dragon, sometimes those are the kinds of things on which a seed can turn. We've seen these Wraith Knights too just have hurt. So even though they have a little bit of resist to hurt more, as long as they cast that hurt spell, you can usually get another shot away. And he's been able to take a couple of those out now too.
Now NESCardinality back to Cantlin. Looks like he may be checking for coordinates, or maybe just filling up on his resources.
Important to point out too, I didn't actually notice it until just now, but level 10 also brought the heal spell for NESCard, so he can get around the map a little bit better as long as he stays topped off. We've seen a couple times now what the ambushes can do to both of our racers, so if you just happen to get caught while you're still sitting there in the 30s on HP, you can get sent home in a hurry, but being able to stay topped off with that heal spell is super important.
Well, NESCardinality is heading for the coordinates, so he will learn about the 2951 that Thilotilo knows about. And Thilotilo is going to purchase a large shield. Betastrump pointing out that we may not even see a silver shield purchased by either runner. They may just settle for the large shield half-plate combo.
Entirely possible, and I wouldn't blame them. The gold grind does take up some time, and when you're in a race like this, I'm sure both of them are thinking, they both respect each other as opponents. You want to try to cut some of those things out as much as possible when they're not necessary, and as NESCard sees his agility already at 63 on level 10, might be thinking that a silver shield just isn't necessary. He cast outside in a big hurry when he cleared top 3 of Graves, so he was not thinking gold grind in that situation at least.
Chance. And there's Thilotilo finding the freebie cave. There was a cursed belt there. Has absolutely no purpose, but it does give us an idea of how many of the searchable tile spots are up for grabs. And if we see 3 belts, that means all of the possible search tile spots are in play, and you can sell them for a little bit of gold.
Yep, 180 gold if you sell them. They might be able to take advantage of that later, but like you said, the big thing is the search spots. We already know there are coordinates. We already know that the token was in coal, but we still don't know whether or not there'll be something in Hawksness based on the available information.
We haven't even found Hawksness yet. In fact, we've only found 2 of the towns. There is still Remulder, Breckenary, Garenham, and of course Hawksness, as you mentioned. A pseudo-sparkle bridge on NESCardinality side. There were 2 tiles that connected to the bridge, not the one that you're normally accustomed to seeing, and Thilotilo sees the same thing.
Well, it looks like NESCard has come upon a town here, but he's going to take a quick look. Which town is that? So he just wants to take a quick look around before he goes inside, and it is Hawksness, so this is where a possible search location could be, in both Tilo and NESCard hit Hawksness at the same time. What could be on this spike tile?
Well, we're about to find out. There's an Axe Knight for Thilotilo. It is a Golem. Well, we have the sleep spell, but they definitely pack a punch, and NESCardinality knows it.
Yeah, unfortunately, the only way you can put those golems to sleep is with the Fairy Flute. They have maximum sleep resist, so you won't be getting the job done with spells against that one. That's kind of the worst enemy that you'd want to see there in a seed like this. No hit points, no flute yet, only the Hurt More spell. So they can't beat that golem for a little while yet.
That is correct. As you mentioned, they are very, very resistant to the sleep spell. Maximum 15 out of 16 chance. So yeah, no chance we're going to find out what's behind that spike tile for the time being, and who knows, we may never need to go back to Hawk's Nest if we can find the Staff of Rain. Or rather,
Ex-
with the Harp.
Exactly. So remains to be seen whether that spike tile will even be valuable. I expect they'll do a lot of exploration first, pick up some experience on the way. As soon as they have a decent hit point total and maybe some more defense, they'll be in position to take that golem with perhaps heal more, even if it is a protracted fight. So we'll see what happens here as both of them continue their exploration.
That is true. The armor also could be in play. Armor reduces the amount of damage we take from DL2 breath, now down to 42 to 48. Also, you are immune to stop spells and also to the swamp tiles. Won't be taking damage to that, and you will be reduced the amount of damage you will take from a Hurtmore.
Yeah, Erdrick's armor is super powerful. If either of our racers come across it, it would be a big help, but right now, they're just trying to get any kind of exploration done. Still plenty of stuff to find, and still pretty early in the seed here, just about 23 minutes gone. And yeah, the map doesn't seem too problematic so far, except with all this swamp, it's going to be a drain on their resources.
Yeah, certainly. NESCardinality 1935. He's now with those experience points, 212 points away from level 11. Thilotilo runs into a knight. He does not know, I don't think, about the DL2 breath that they have because he's not been ambushed by him yet, and they're easy to take out with a Hurtmore spell as Thilotilo gets to level 10.
Yeah, I don't think Tilo's seen that DL2 breath from the knight yet, so as long as you don't get back attacked by them, things like knights and Magiwyvern, really great enemies, you can take them out with one Hurtmore guaranteed, don't have any resist, and it'll always do enough damage to kill them in one shot, so as long as you don't get ambushed, he might never see that the rest of the seed.
And not only that, as you had mentioned, they cannot defend themselves against Hurtmore spells.
Exactly. Ooh, speaking of the Magiwyvern, I didn't know they had breath. I mentioned them in the same breath as those knights, though, and they've got the DL2 as well.
Well, that's something that NESCardinality doesn't know about, I don't think, because he's been one-shotting them with the Hurtmore spells.
Exactly. So both of them just different monsters. Tilo's got the knowledge of the Magiwyvern, NESCard's got the knowledge of the knight.
NESCardinality back into Cantlin. And Thilotilo looks like is going to make a dive here at Tanticle Castle.
This looks like it's going to be a princess play. I think he's going to try to double Hurtmore this blue dragon and just get through to the tile he's got outside, so if he rescues Gwaelin, he can just make an immediate exit.
That's about a 1 in 4 chance he's going to land them both. Going for the stop spell. Stop spell works, but went for an attack instead. Going to use the heal, and that's just, down to 2 HP.
Okay, so that was just probably unlucky. On available information, he knows that blue casts Hurtmore, so if he can land a stop spell, he should be able to buy a turn with heal, but he couldn't do it.
But instead of using Hurtmore, decided to use Bite More. No, maybe it's 25%. I know we could pull up the statistics of enemies. I'd like to see what the statistics are of a blue dragon. It's got to be a low percentage.
It had to be, unless that was just an outlier, but Tilo's headed back towards Swamp in any event. NESCard did pick up level 11, and I guess that's where our HP was hiding. That looks like 36 on level 11.
Yeah, bam! And there is...
Pardon me, 34. 34.
And again, NESCardinality getting ambushed by a knight, sending him back to the castle, so not having too much luck with those knights.
No, that's pretty unfortunate. On 63 agility to just get back attacked by a knight again like that, the agility has been high enough that shouldn't be happening quite as often as it is, but he's been unlucky to get 2 of those so far.
This time, Thilotilo is able to take out the Star Wyvern with the Hurtmore spell. And there's a Metal Scorpion going to try to take it down, is able to do so with 1 shot, and will pick up the 31 experience points that come with it. But here comes a Stone Man, and right behind Thilotilo, was able to get sleep on the Stone Man. Very good. But of course, they're not very resistant. 2 out of 16 chance.
Still, that's going to let him get through here to Cole, and he's going to pick up his token on the search spot.
look at this. NESCardinality with a Hurt More and a Sword Strike is going to take down the Blue Dragon. He's on his way to rescue Princess Gwalen.
That's a quick, efficient kill. He's going to get the GPS when he returns Gwalen to Tangential Castle. That'll allow him to determine his location on the map wherever he happens to be. And with that, he can search out those overworld coordinates you see on the screen, 29 north, 51 west.
And I think the reason why this was a Gwalen dive is because it looks like the coordinates are on the second continent. I mean, it looks easy. It's just 29 and 51, and there you go. They do have heal more, so Blue Dragons have both a 25% chance.
Wow, interesting. So it looks like Tilo's probably going to wait until 11, but I'm sure when that HP shows up, he's going to head back to the Blue Dragon as well. But for right now, NESCard's got a bit of a lead in this one. Experience-wise, he's got the GPS now, so he's going to be able to do some more exploration and try to figure out what his next play is.
Absolutely. So, yep, NESCardinality does have Princess Gwalen. Thilotilo had made an attempt. Doesn't have her at the moment. But, yep, NESCardinality trying to find some more towns or caves, but stumbles upon a dead end.
Tilo's just going to pop a return here. He must feel fairly confident that he's cleared second continent, so there might not be much over there except for coal. It's possible that the only way to go is up there past Cantlin and Charlock.
Yeah, absolutely here. Yeah, this is a very close race between the two. NESCardinality has a slight advantage on the experience points, plus he does have Princess Gwalen. But, yeah, this is really anybody's game. Thilotilo will take down this Wyvern here to get within 143 points of level 11.
Ooh, we've got a town on NESCard's screen just here northwest of Charlock, and it's Brecconary, so he's going to nope right out.
Yeah, no love for Brecconary tonight.
Is he going to... Oh, goodness. He got back attacked by that knight again. I was afraid he was going to get the breath one more time, but he managed to avoid it. The knight just swung instead, so get out of that one.
Yeah, that's a break there. My guess, if I had to take a guess, is that knights probably have 75% or 50% DL2 breath, one or the other.
That seems like a reasonable conclusion, yeah.
Another knight, but this time no ambush, and he's using Hurt More to take down the Wyvern. Thilotilo will get level 11, and there you go. It needed 75% chance of DL2 breath.
Yeah, you called it.
Now Wyvern on NESCardinality's side, no problem there. He's 281 points away from level 12.
Tilo's going to make a bargain purchase here. He's going to pick up some chainmail. That's not bad value for money. 10 defense out of 300 gold. That might be the last purchase he makes in the seed. If he finds the armor, he's probably confident going forward with what he's got.
Yeah, no question about it. So he will have a defensive upgrade over NESCardinality for now. But NESCardinality finding Remulder.
There is one chest here locked behind two doors, and it's empty, which means it was either an herb or I guess it would have had to have been an herb because he used 2 keys getting in, so that was just an herb chest in Remulder.
Yep, so nothing but a zonk there here in Remulder, or some people call it Rimuldar, take your pick. And Thilotilo maxing out on his herbs, and he'll depart Cantlin and sprinkle some fairy water. Now, he's about to discover Brecconary himself, but I would imagine he's going to do the same thing that NESCardinality was going to do, and he's just going to bail.
Yep.
No
might not get any screen time for Brecconary in this seed. Possibly when they go to make their dive, but Cantlin's sitting right there too, so that's probably it. Wave goodbye to Brecconary, everybody.
Yep, it's just a little hole in the wall in tonight's adventure. Oh, Thilotilo running into a blue dragon, and he is stopped. But he does run away on the second attempt.
So I'd expect Tilo is probably exploring here just until he either hits a dead end or perhaps sees something else, but probably the next time he gets sent back to Tanagel, he's going to go check that, so that get rid of that blue dragon and rescue Gwaelin, I expect. He might even do that soon, but he is using his fairy water to good effect here. He's got 53 defense, so he's repelling a lot of stuff that he probably just doesn't want to deal with, and he can use Hurt more on the ones that are sticking around.
A big piece of information on NESCardinality's side. He has found the staff cave, but in order to get the staff, we need to find the silver harp first. Could be on the coordinate spot, still could be in Hawksness.
Yep, 2 search spots where it could be. We also have some chests in Garenham in the mountain cave, as well as the bottom 2 of Grave we haven't seen yet. But
speaking of Garenham, all you had to do was
talk about
it, and the situation presents itself. And
there
another silver shield. Again, we're not going to buy a silver shield this time, but they were definitely plentiful in this seed.
All right, so Tilo's going to check these 3 in the back of Garenham. Looks like another herb here in this empty chest, as well as a fairy water and a torch. So just some utility gear there, but there is still the staircase in the back of town.
Well, we've already seen all of the caves, so this are the lighted caves, so this has to be a darkened cave.
Yep, this will be Erdrick's Cave or Tablet Cave. You'll often hear it referred to by one of those 2 names. Just 1 chest in here and no enemy encounters, so Tilo's going to grab it, use outside, and be on his way again. But this could be something important.
It's like the villagers knew that these runners were going to have to explore this cave because there was a torch, and if you don't have a torch, going through this cave is very tough, especially if you don't have outside.
Exactly. NESCard hits level 12. That looks like 2 power, 5 agility, 11 hit points, which is very nice to see, and 7 magic points. He also picked up the spell of Radiant and Heal More, so a pretty big level there, level 12.
Absolutely there. I mean, NESCardinality is just about, good to go here, other than, we have to find that silver harp, and then he could be in grind and go mode. The stats are still nowhere near where they need to be. When you see a statistic that's lit in orange, like you see the agility and the magic points on both contested sides, it means they're close to in range to where they want to be going to Charlock. You want to see those numbers turn green.
Exactly. The good news is, though, now that on 91 HP he's got over 100 attack power, Tilo's in basically the same position. Either of these racers, there's not much on the overworld that can stop them apart from Dragonlord 2 Breath. If there's, even if there's some more dangerous enemies whose names I won't say aloud because I don't want to curse the runners, they can still fight through a lot of those guys as long as they don't have dangerous abilities.
I know what you're talking about, and one of those said enemies, I'm calling it right now, the only appearance of said enemy is going to be on the spike tile in Charlock.
Book it.
I've been wrong every time I've made this call, so I'm going to be wrong.
Well, that's fair. That's very fair.
Bad luck there for NESCardinality. Could not take down the metal slime, and he gets a second chance, but the metal slime doesn't want to give him a second chance.
Looks like Tilo has found, I believe this is Mountain Cave.
Nice, excellent move to take out a metal scorpion.
Yeah, so Tilo's found Mountain Cave. I didn't quite catch on the map where this is, but there are 5 chests in here. Still looking for the armor, possibly the Fighter's Ring, Death Necklace, and the Silver Harp, as well as the Fairy Flute. So plenty of key items still left to find, or at least potential useful items. Not all of those are key, per se. But the first chest in Mountain Cave is the Death Necklace. So if you're not familiar with GWR, the Death Necklace is an item that late in the seed can have some utility. It is cursed, but it will give you an extra 10 attack power in exchange for 25% of your maximum hit points. So if you've got high HP and not quite enough AP, you can slap that on and give yourself an advantage perhaps in the Dragonlord fight.
I see that NESCardinality's back into a Swamp South. I wonder, do you suppose he's going to do a blue dragon grind?
On his current resources, possible. I don't know. He did take a right turn there, I think. So this is interesting. I'm not quite sure.
I mean, if you wanted to exit, to get to the other side, you would have used the outside spell.
Oh, okay. No, he did go straight through. He was on Swamp North, so if he used outside in that situation, he would have just ended up back at the same entrance.
Oh, okay.
So he had to walk through to Swamp South, and now he did immediately pop the GPS. He's actually not that far away from the coordinates, just has to go a little bit to the northwest here, past Cole.
Yeah, usually I'm so used to seeing Swamp South. that was
Yes, exactly. Oh, big chest there for Thilotilo. Third chest, that of one of the two in the top of the second floor of Mountain Cave. Erdrick's armor.
That is huge. So if we see the Silver Harp be the coordinates tile, which NESCardinality is looking up right now, forget about Hawksness.
Exactly. So this has to be either the flute or the harp. We've seen the Death Necklace and Erdrick's armor now on Tilo's side. And we also see...
We also see level 12.
The Silver Harp.
Silver Harp. So bye-bye Hawksness.
Yep, Hawksness probably... Well, may not make an appearance again either. Blue Dragons and Golems... Neither of them especially great grinds, so it'll be interesting to see those choices down the stretch too. But now, NESCard, I believe, has already seen Staff of Rain Cave, so he can make his trade-ins and get the drop at his leisure, and is basically in grind and go mode here.
Now the 64,000 gold question for NESCardinality is, where will he grind to get his levels? I mean, again, there's the Blue Dragons and Swamp South, but is that the most optimal grind?
Well, for NESCard, he does still want his armor, so he's got some choices to make. He knows he hasn't seen Mountain Cave yet. I expect he'll want to clear at least that. He hasn't seen Garenham yet either, so there's still a bunch of chests out there for him to check. And probably before he commits to either grind, he's going to want to at least eliminate those as possibilities.
Certainly, and that would make sense. And of course, he will run into the Death Necklace en route to Erdrick's armor.
Exactly. But this is interesting. It looks like NESCard is heading for Hawksness. So he's going to check this out. He thinks, of course, from his perspective, the armor could still be here. And he knows he can beat this Golem now that he has heal more. So, gonna fling a preemptive stop spell and see what happens.
Swing and a miss. Thilotilo now is in Remolder. Golems have hurt, and we are defense breaking that hurt. NESCardinality does get the stop spell off now.
Probably a prudent play. The hurt isn't a big deal, but he might be backing that with heal more, and you don't want to go through the whole fight just to get heal more at the end, especially with the huge HP pool Golems have. So he's gonna, and there it is. There's the heal more. Good play.
Move there from NESCardinality. Just having the hunch. Indeed, they did have heal more, and yeah, they have a lot of HP. And down goes the Golem. He will find the Fairy Flute. Probably going to be disappointed that it is there. Now he knows he's going to have to find Erdrick's armor elsewhere. And again, Metal Slime's doing what Metal Slimes do best. But here's an opportunity. There's one hit. Ooh, there's two hits. Oh, but the tease.
Got out of it. Naturally, Golem guarding that Fairy Flute. When that happens in Hawksness, you're like, that's the flute. It was the flute. But yeah, the preemptive stop spell there, I really love that as a play whenever going to the Hawksness spike. And it paid off big time there for NESCard. Saved him a bunch of time in that Golem fight, so I really like that play. But even so...
now Thilo knows where the Staff of Rain Cave is. And you were talking about how, Golems have a lot of HP. 115 to 153 HP. My goodness.
Yeah. So the big deal here, I think, is when will NESCard find Mountain Cave, and is Thilo going to get to a spot? The only item that he still needs, is it turns out, is on the search spot. So when is he going to go back and rescue Gwaelin and get that search tile taken care of? The experience lead is now just about at 1,000, a little bit under that, I think, that NESCard has right now. So if Tilo wants to chip into that, he's got to get to his grind first.
And NESCardinality back into Cantlin to rest up and probably stock up on supplies. That's about a 650-point experience lead for NESCardinality at the moment.
Yeah, definitely not insurmountable. It's just a matter of how quickly you can get the homework done, get all of your exploration taken care of, and then get into your grind, because, of course, they've got grind choices to make at the end, too. We've got that Blue Dragon spike, we've got the Golem spike, so that could play a part as well. This race is definitely shaping up to be a very good finish.
Well, Thilotilo and NESCardinality were at the exact same. Unfortunately, Thilotilo checking the wrong thing.
Yeah, it looks like, or is he setting up a gold grind here, possibly? He did head toward the top 3 chests, which he's already seen. So if he wants a silver shield, this would be the play. I expect that's the only reason that he goes to top 3 chests here. Meanwhile, NESCard is going to try to take out this Star Wyvern, and he's going to get it done. So this will give him level 13. We'll see how much closer he is to a potential go level.
Take a look at the numbers for NESCardinality. It's 4, 0, 9, 24 magic points.
Whew. So up into the hundreds now on both hit points and magic points. That's a pretty good place to be when you're heading toward a grind. Now the strength is the one that has started to slow down a little bit in its gains. Agility kind of hovering there too, yeah.
1 point away from being able to use 14 heal mores.
So Tilo's made it to 4th chest. He's just going to get some gold for his efforts.
Well, and another trolley metal slime. They've pretty much been on their game. He's had 1 kill, and I think that's the only one we've seen tonight.
Yeah, there have been plenty of medals, but only that one taken out by Tilo in the relatively early going. So NESCard is in the process of clearing Mountain Cave, and he's going to pick up his armor right now. And he's just going to outside without bothering to look at 5th chest, because he's got everything that he wants.
Yeah, he's definitely in the catbird seat. Now, I didn't see him pick up the death necklace.
Was it in... I think it was on the chest on the top floor, correct? So I'd be surprised if he'd skipped that.
You know, because right now, you know, you're okay. He did pick up the death necklace.
He did pick it up.
Because what I was saying is, you know, looking at the HP and, you know, looking at the strength, you know, if we start to see some HP, but if the strength continues to sap, a death necklace seed is possible, but we still need more HP than that, because for those of you who don't know, in the randomizer, the death necklace, at a cost of 25% of your maximum HP, you get an additional 10 attack power, which could come in handy, again, if this is one of those seeds where strength just doesn't come.
Yeah, entirely possible. So they're both of those stats, the HP and the strength, are at a spot right now where it's really difficult to tell which one's going to get there first. Maybe they both do, maybe neither of them do. And so you want that death necklace as a hedge. So they both got it out of Mountain Cave. And so regardless of what the stats bring the rest of the seed, they're both well positioned to take advantage of it. Tilo is still going after his silver shield here, and he's found an enemy in a werewolf, and he's using an interesting death warp technique here. He's just going to throw hurts at it, and it's chances are, since that werewolf has hurt more and decent attack power, that it's going to take Tilo out before Tilo takes it out with hurt.
Yeah, I can understand why he wants to make this play, considering the blue dragon as NESCardinality is going to cash in his silver harp to get the Staff of Rain. He now has all 3 of the treasures necessary to get the rare candy from the Jerk Cave, the Rainbow Drop. Just make sure you don't sell it off to Slugworth. So with the Rainbow Drop, that's what gains you access into Charlock. So at this point, NESCardinality now in grind and go mode.
Based on the fact that he's restoring his MP here, I feel like it means he's going to head down to that blue dragon. So I'm not sure, but it looks like Tilo is headed to the blue dragon. So he's going to try to clear this, I think, and get the GPS. But he hasn't grinded his gold yet.
Now he's learned that they've got both more. He's going to try to throw a stop spell at him. It worked.
And of course, now he gets the hurt more after he lands the stop spell. He didn't get it last time when he didn't have the HP to survive it, but of course he gets it now.
Thilotilo is going to use the heal more, and both of them are going after the blue dragon. And Thilotilo has not taken him down just yet. One more ought to do it. No, not yet.
Got a pretty low roll there in that 16, but that, yeah, there we go.
There it is, and that blue dragon is worth 180 and level 13. NESCardinality taking down the blue dragon, and he will get the 180 experience points himself. And it looks like this is going to be his grind spot right here.
Yeah, it looks like it. He's going to go with the stop spell strats. He didn't miss on that one, so it makes one wonder whether he's just going to... He's going to outside immediately, actually. He missed that one stop spell, and he's decided he's not going to deal with it.
He's changed his mind, so he's going to opt. Now, this is something you don't see very often when you rescue the princess. He, instead of using, what most people do, using the outside then return, Thilotilo is going to hold on to the princess a little while longer. I think this is what you were referring to, the gold grind.
Yeah, he just needs to open 2 chests. Oh, that's one you don't see very often. The glitch chest reports rainbow drops.
That is funny. It's
that's pretty uncommon.
Not so fast, my friend.
Yeah, so Tilo, since he never left Tanager, his gold grind is from taking that death warp in the grave is still in effect. So he just gets to grind this chest here. We'll see if it pays off. With that increased defense power, he might be able to repel some things in Charlock that he would otherwise have to fight. But we'll get a sense, I think, pretty soon here of what enemy set might be in Charlock Castle, because it looks like NESCard's headed that way.
Now, the numbers don't indicate that he's ready to make a full dive, but he is going to take a peek at, well, unless he gets, nope, he does not get back attacked by the knights. We've seen that happen a couple of times already, but he is going to drop the rainbow drop into the little moat here and take a peek at Charlock.
So I think this is interesting. You've got the blue dragons. He's not confident of the stop spell strats there, and he doesn't love that because he can't outswing those Healmores for sure. I mean, you can't really outswing Healmore in any circumstances, but if he can't stop those blue dragons from healing, he doesn't like that. And he clearly doesn't like the golem either, or else he'd be headed to Hawksness. So he's going to come here to Charlock instead to see if he can kind of grind a little bit inside this final dungeon.
That's our first appearance of the AK-47s. That was one of the two enemies that I wasn't mentioning earlier, you know, when we had...
You're right.
So the other enemy that I was thinking of, I'm still calling it, it's going to be, the only one we'll see will be on the spike tile.
It's looking good so far.
Well, it's still early.
It's a little early, but we'll see. A lot of fives going on for NESCard right now. 5,555 gold and 5,505 experience. Meaningless? Probably. Possibly interesting? Yeah, a little.
All the fives. Man, 7 out of 8. 55 gold and 5505 experience. That's nuts. That's a tough poker hand to beat.
Yeah, 7 fives. I think that beats a lot of stuff. And NESCard's going to get this Armored Knight, beat him with his fives to get to level 14.
The number
7 power.
Nice. 11 agility, 18 HP, and wow, that's a big boost.
Yeah, big boost there. They like to see some of that agility, of course. Charlock Castle, that'll help you out ostensibly, if only in giving you some more defense. So 74 strength now too. The numbers are starting to climb a little bit for level 14. This is actually mostly okay.
Thilotilo trying to get the coordinates, and NESCardinality is going to at least take a look at making a die, but before he does that, a Star Wyvern surprises him. Thilotilo back to Cole to make his silver shield purchase, and yeah, rescuing Gwalen was very convenient. In case that Thilotilo failed to get to Cole, he could have just restored back to that save point when he returned Princess Gwalen to her father.
Exactly, and that's that's a really good routing play. It's a very underrated routing play. Whenever you can do that, that saves you having to make an extra trip to the throne room, and that saves you time. So that was very heads up the way he conducted all of that. I think it'll ultimately end up saving him some time getting the silver shield, and he's going to get his silver harp here pretty shortly. It looks like he's very close to the search tile, if not within a few spots.
Just a couple more spots. Well, now a metal slime is it now. Speaking of teasing.
There's the old ambush run, the metal slime's favorite strat.
Well, it looks like Thilotilo overshot the mark, because now it's 29 and 57. He needs to go back 6. Ooh, he may have miscounted. It sounds like he may have mismarked his notes. He thought it might have said 57 instead of 51. Well, if that's the case.
If that's the case, it's a huge problem here. But he's going to take a look. If he's confident on... Oh, there he goes. Whew. Oh.
Yep, crisis averted there. He is definitely still very much in this match.
So he's got his harp. He's still got to trade that in, but then we'll get a look at what he's going to do for a grind. NESCard's continuing to fight on top floor of Charlock. There are golems here. He did take that last one out just using a stop spell. Misses a hurt more there at 1 in 16. If you grind Armored Knights long enough, you're always going to get one of those.
Yep, never tell me the odds. Is it going to be 2 in a row? Oh, wait, no, that's Healmore. There it is. Thilotilo is going to go ahead and purchase that Silver Shield here in Cantlin. So that is a big-time boost to his defense.
Yep, 10 additional defense points over the large shield. It'll bump him up to 84 on level 13. He'll get even more defense on the next level, which we know holds 11 agility. So he's going to be in position to break a lot of the weaker enemies in Charlock. The question is it going to take him too long to close the experience gap we've got right now, which is about 1,500 experience points, depending on what grind he opts to use after he gets his rainbow drop.
He still has to return the harp. Now, he does know where the staff cave is, but yeah, NESCardinality, this is an interesting grind, and then something you don't see very often, a Charlock grind, but that seems to be the play. It has, great enemies, AK-47s, they've got Star Wyverns. I mean, it's a pretty good group of enemies to grind on.
Yeah, I mean, there are certainly worse ones, and their abilities don't seem to be much of anything to worry about. So it's a reasonably safe grind too, and Cantlin is very close by. So you just, whenever it's time to heal, you pop back out, you hit the inn, you come right back.
Star Wyverns do have Stop Spell, of course, both of them having Erdrick's armor. They will be completely immune to that, and there's a green dragon. I've seen a couple of those before. Ooh, a lower roll, but that was enough to take down the green dragon, 62.
Yeah, now that he's seen the rest of the zone, he knows that those Star Wyvern are here too. He's actually avoiding the golems altogether. And he's just going to stick to these other enemies in the zone, I think, the Armored Knights, and the ones he can hurt more, the Green Dragons and the Star Wyvern, as Tilo picks up his Staff of Rain.
So now he just needs to go to the Jerk Cave, pick up his Rainbow Drop, and he too will be in grind and go mode, but time could be running out. Thilotilo is going to have to grind his levels up and fast. There's the Jerk Cave. Because you see that deficit, it is approaching 2,000 points.
Yeah, that's a pretty big deficit at this stage. And with NESCard already in his grind, Tilo looks like he's going to head to the northeast as well, so I suspect that he's also headed to Charlock. This looks like the only possible grind destination that's in this direction.
Yeah, it'll be a good idea. I mean, right now, I'd say NESCardinality is in the driver's seat. I mean, unless his Charlock 5, 8, 9, 1, and that one magic point is not insignificant as he does learn Repel. That 1 point is not insignificant because that now gives him 14 heal mores.
Yeah, that's a big magic point right there. He's also got 127 hit points, which is just on the verge of, if things get really thin on the next level, you maybe think about using a DN dive. Even if he doesn't get any hit points, it'll be, kind of in a precarious range, but not one that's insurmountable. I mean, it's 96, I think, that'll round down to. So, probably the next level is going to put them close.
You would think that level 16, if we get enough HP, you definitely do want to consider the Death Necklace at that point, because you want bare minimum 97 points, so that way you can survive 2 max DL2 breaths. Now, the defense, kind of iffy. How much damage would they be taking to a DL2 attack at 83 defensive points?
Well, in 83, I think they're vulnerable to a 49 max. So that would, that puts it, you normally think of it in terms of DL2 breath, because that'll do 42 to 48, any of the even totals on that range. So whenever it's higher than that, that gives you a little bit of a concern, because then those swings can be dangerous, but depending on the situation, you just end up sometimes having to swing on those values anyway. So yeah, it's like right there in terms of what you're looking at for your HP right now.
Now, how is the calculation? How does the calculation work for how much damage we're going to take? Because I've kind of wanted to know that.
Okay, so basically it changes, the distribution will change a little bit, but the basic idea is that every 4, you can kind of look at 80 as a base. And then for every 4 defense points you get, it's going to reduce the DL2's maximum swing by 1. So for instance, on 80 to 83, DL2 can do 49 damage, and then once you get to 84, he's then bumped down to 48. Then on 88, he's bumped down to 47, and so on and so forth.
All right, so that's generally a rough estimate of what to expect when you get to the DL2 fight. All right.
Exactly, yeah. One thing I'll point out too here is that on these current attack power values, you see 119 for NESCard, and he's getting closer to level 16. Might not be a big deal, but if the attack power stays low, we do know that the fighter's ring is guaranteed to be in Charlock, and 2 attack power anywhere in that 120 attack points range can be a huge deal. It can actually be worth basically a heal more in those ranges. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that as a play either on level 16 if there's not much of a level on 16.
Yeah, most certainly there. And NESCardinality closing in on level 16 is 1150 away. Thilotilo is now in level 14.
Tilo has decided to switch up his grind. He's going to head for this blue dragon.
We'll see how this play works out. Remember that they're pretty resistant to stop spells are blue dragons. It's 11 out of a 16 chance that it's going to miss. Does take one down for the 180 points, but yeah, he is still trailing by now over 3,000 experience points. 29.99.
Yeah, you see here a good example of just how big it is to get all of that homework done quickly, finish your exploration, and get into your grind. Every minute that you spend grinding that your opponent doesn't, you get a big advantage there. But I do see NESCard shopping right now. He's selling off everything he can in his inventory, and he's going to go buy some fairy water. So it's possible that he just wants to get 16 on the way down here, and if he needs to use that fairy water either as repel in Charlock, if the next level is good, or as a possible attack item against DL2, that sets him up for both contingencies. So I think I really like this here. He's doing his shopping now. Even if he doesn't dive and grind, he's positioning himself really well no matter what happens on level 16.
Thilotilo getting an excellent move on a blue dragon. That still wasn't enough, but the next attack does take it down for another 180 points. NESCardinality running into a green dragon. $68 was not enough. Bad luck there for NESCardinality, but he will take it down on the third swing. Another successful stop spell land there for Thilotilo, so should be a free 180 points more for him. So right now, Archfield, as it stands, at this point, Thilotilo is going to have to hope that NESCardinality's dive fails for him to get back into this one.
Yeah, I think I agree with you there. And the thing is, we haven't seen either Zone 2 or Zone 3 of Charlock yet, so there's still some enemies that we haven't seen that could possibly be problematic. And one big one in particular, that's really the only thing that could possibly stand in the way here, I think, of having a successful dive for NESCard here on level 15. So we'll wait and see what the enemy sets have to bring as he continues to descend.
Another enemy we haven't seen are wizards. That is a good point. But that wasn't the enemy I had in mind in terms of the spike tile.
Exactly. There are armored knights too. If he wants to preserve all of his resources, you know, he has to make a choice between whether he's going to try to swing through those or just run from them. 87 agility isn't a huge total. He's roughly a coin flip to run away from an armored knight, so those can still interrupt a dive too, even though he's got a good bit of resources in terms of both HP and MP.
I can't run away from a stone man, so that's going to cost him some of his HP. Is Thilotilo going to continue to grind on these blue dragons? He is slowly catching up to NESCardinality in the experience department. Again, time running out.
Exactly. I would say though, Tilo's got that silver shield, and that might be what pushes it over for him to try to dive and win on level 15. And that's what could possibly make this close down the stretch if NESCard has to abort the dive for some reason. If level 16 is just totally empty and he doesn't love it, then that could cause a problem too. But I think NESCard's probably committed to try to win on this dive regardless of what level 16 brings.
Certainly, and we did see our first appearance of the Wizards, and he was able to defense break Wizards, and hey, there's an excellent move for 99 damage, easily taking out that Axe Knight, and he's not far away from level 16, 167 points. Stone Man would not do it, so he's going to run away, and there's another Stone Man, plus they have a lot of HP to boot. But he'll go after this Axe Knight. That's a easy 135 points. Or 130, excuse me.
Yep, so really just one more encounter. Whichever one he wants to pick, he's going to get his level, as Tilo's now only 2 blue dragons away from level 15.
Now this Axe Knight will do just fine for NESCardinality. This will get him to level 16, and it'll be decision time whether or not he goes for the Death Necklace against DL2. The moment of truth. Here come the numbers for NESCardinality. It is going to be 8, 0, 0, 8. Hey, nice palindrome there.
I mean, he was hoping for just 1 HP for a little insulation there. Didn't get it. But the attack power is a huge boost. Now he can use some double heal mores if he opts to Death Necklace. But it's still a pretty easy fight, I think, as long as he manages to get there with his current resources.
14 heal mores. Or make that 15 heal mores. He's got 8 magic points. It was 0 HP. And he is not going to pursue the fighter's ring. He's just going to go right for it.
Yeah, I don't blame him here. I think probably Death Necklace is the play. On 127, he's still projected to probably needs, that's only a damage range of 6 to 13, and he's got 112 MP at the moment, so 14 heal mores. That's around 16 average hits needed. So with the Death Necklace, you are taking a little bit of a risk, but going from 127 to 137 saves you 4 swings, and that's where the 112 MP is probably enough to get it done, even if you get a bad heal more somewhere, and, provided everything else goes to plan.
All right, here it comes. Is our friend on the spike tile? Nope, it's an AK-47.
No. You were very close. It was one of the 2 we talked about. So
yep, and if it would,
I'm willing to give partial credit on that one.
Absolutely, because if it would have been the other way around, if we saw nothing but, now I'll reveal it, Red Dragons, the true fun police, if we would have saw Red Dragons, then yeah, I would have been 100% correct if that would have been the Armored Knight. But here we go, as NESCardinality is going to take a shot here at Dragon Lord, and we'll see how it works out for him. So he is going to go ahead and put on the Death Necklace.
Yeah, I think that's probably the play. It's a little sketchy either direction, but when you can do it here in this fight, he's still got 4 herbs left, so he can try to go into DL2 on full HP. I think that's a reasonable play.
Absolutely, but of course, if he takes that chance and, he gets 48s or he gets that 49 attack, this could be the opening that Thilotilo needs, because he's making that dive to Charlock right now. And again, if this does not work out for NESCardinality, Thilotilo has a chance. Let's see, does he get the first strike? He does. We start off with 16. Ooh, and gets a double for 34. All right, so good start here for NESCardinality.
Yeah, a couple of high rolls there. You're expecting to do about 13.5 damage at this point, so a couple of big rolls to open on a double. That's a really nice start.
And then he gets the minimum 9 there to take him up to 43. Oh, and he cannot get an attack. He has to use another heal more.
Yeah, that 47, that's dangerous. He opted to heal there, and he's got a little bit of cushion in his healing, so he opted to pass on that one. Is he going to regret it later, possibly? We're going to have to wait and see, as that one lands for 16.
74 now with that 16 that he just landed. Still has 9 heal mores left, but again, he can't take a chance. Another max breath, and okay, he can go on this one. for 12. He's at 86. All right.
I got a 10 there. Now 96.
Yep, 96. This is going to come down to the wire, that's for sure. He's down to 6 heal mores. 11 takes him to 107.
The big risk in these fights is always bad heal mores. If you end up in single-digit HP and you just get a bad roll on your heal more, that's where things can go upside down a little.
It's a big one, 125, the max.
18. Very nice.
He's in real good shape. There's an attack.
Yeah, this is pretty much locked down now, I think. Yeah, 137.
All right, next attack could do it. Nope, not with that 9. It's 146. And even the next attack isn't guaranteed if it's at 165. It's 150 to 165. Next attack is for 10. That's enough. 156 puts NESCardinality over the top, and he will be moving on to the winners' quarterfinals.
Very nicely done there. Just all around, played a great race. Did NESCard a couple of really terrific plays, helped him seal this one. He's going to come in with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 32 seconds. So GG to NESCard on completing a terrific race today and moving on in the winner's bracket.
That's a very hot time there for NESCardinality, and very valiant effort from Thilotilo. But I think in the end, NESCardinality's exploration was just enough to give him the edge.
Yeah, this is ultimately going to be pretty close. If Tilo wins on this dive here, he's going to be within about 5 minutes or so. So that's still Tilo ran a really good race too, but just NESCard got to his grind that much faster, and that makes a big difference in this kind of a seed.
Now, looking at the HP of 127, we'll see if Thilotilo, he may also go for the Death Necklace strats. I mean, NESCardinality, I think one thing that really got him off to that good start is he got that opening double, got the first strike. If he doesn't get that first strike, that fight may have turned very differently for him.
Exactly. A back attack there is just about a disaster. It's going to cost you 2 swings, and then if you end up having to heal later, you maybe have to play it a little more risky. But the fact that he got that opening double was a pretty big deal.
And ladies and gentlemen, we do have tonight's winner, NESCardinality, here in the commentator's booth. GG, congratulations, you're moving on to the winners' quarterfinals. Very competitive race between you and Thilotilo, but in the end, you had just enough of an exploration edge to come out on top, and getting the first attack on DL2, that definitely helped out a lot.
Oh man, I bet it was competitive. I can't wait to watch this one back. Is he like fighting the Dragon Lord right now?
Just about. He's on the spike tile.
Oh man. Yeah, so I made some good endgame decisions. The idea of grinding on the way down, and normally I would spare a little bit more experience and go a little earlier, but there were so many armored knights on the top floor. I kept getting them in a row, and I told myself that is going to be a time saver over fighting something. So I got to like within 1,000 experience before I actually dove. I certainly didn't have to, but I think it was the right thing to do, just given what I was seeing.
Just bird's eye view, I'd probably agree with you. Like you said, those armored knights, you still haven't seen zones 2 and 3 yet, so there could be potential roadblocks there that you might not even be aware of. So kind of take us through your thought process there. What were you looking for? Tilo ended up diving on 15, and he went to go get the fighter's ring. Were you considering going on 15 at all before you made your decision to dive and grind?
I was considering it strongly, and I didn't realize that we'd have as much as 96 HP. But in retrospect, I'm really glad that I didn't, because looking at the way the Dragon Lord fight was going, I mean, without the strength that I had, I burned 2 heal mores. I wanted to stay totally safe, and, it looked great because I was rolling high, and he only breathed for 48 twice. I was rolling high on my heal mores, but that's not a guarantee, and when you don't heal more full, you might have to burn off some more, and I only had 4 spares, so I burned off 2. I had some leeway, but that was kind of on the pretty end of fighting. It does not always go that way, and I'm really glad that I took just a couple extra minutes to give myself a buffer.
Bad news, Thilotilo did not get the first attack. He's currently up to 50 points. He also put on the death necklace. He can get a maximum of 15, it looks like.
Yeah, once I got the level, the death necklace was a no-brainer. I guess it was a no-brainer either way, because you could win with or without it, but its bottom line, it was faster to win with it, and it was only minimal risk having 96 HP. Like, we had, again, 4 extra heal mores, so I really liked that play.
He's currently up to 73 now, and he'll be able to do another attack to take him up to 83.
How many heal mores left?
Right now he's got
7, yep.
Okay. Yeah, he should be good.
94.
He's nicely ahead right now.
Oh, man. That's so tempting to do it at 46, but you gotta do it. You gotta do the heal more. 102. Oh, and he's going for it. 111.
Oh, no!
Perfect bid.
Oh,
Sigma
man.
fan,
No.
if you're in chat, there's the 500 gold bonus for DL2, and I think that's going to be the end of the run.
That always feels terrible. You got the DL2 has a 50% chance to breathe, and then from there, only a 1 in 8 chance that he's going to hit that 48 perfecto on the breath. So to get sent back that way is just devastating. And Tilo's going to tap out, though. I can't say as I blame him after that one.
Yep, and that was the kind of luck Thilotilo needed to see on NESCardinality, not the other way around. We do have Thilotilo here in the commentator's booth. GG, a very valiant effort. It came down to pretty much exploration before you can get to that grind, and NESCardinality just edged you on that by a little bit before you made that grind. You went for the blue dragons at Swamp South, but by the time you were ready to go into Charlock, NESCardinality had already made a deep enough dive that the only way you could come back was that if the DL2 fight failed, he got the first attack, you did not, and then just to make matters worse, you went for it on the 48, and of course, being the game, went 48 on you. Tough break there, but very competitive race tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this is the 3rd year in a row I've faced NESCard, and this is the first time I've been on the basement when he finished, so gradual improvement. No, it was the beginning of the seed. Treated me very poorly RNG-wise, and it also, and I made some key mistakes too. I had a mismenu against a Magiwyvern early on after I finally got into like the Charlock area. That sent me back because they had DL2 breath. I accidentally swung. I meant to hurt more, but misclicked. I tried to make multiple trips across the swamp. I failed to sleep against the Stone Man. I landed the hurt more and a swing against the Star Wyvern, but it rolled really high on HP, so I failed that one. Then as soon as I got to the second continent, which there was almost nothing to explore, I got ambushed by a Stone Man sent back. I also made the mistake when I do this. I'm really bad at this with a hurt more start. When an enemy that you think you should be able to swing to, but you're not sure, comes up. So I swing to try to conserve my MP, which there's no reason because there's nothing else for us to use other than hurt more. And that happened to the Warlock, so I swung at it, and it fire breathed me back. So I got sent back to the castle so many times to start off, some of my own doing, some of poor RNG. Once that whole thing happened, I was pretty confident there was no way I was going to pull out a victory. But after that happened, after that last Star Wyvern death, I feel like everything went pretty smoothly for the seed. I think I just put myself in too much of a hole right there.
Yeah, if you look at the death counts, I mean, yeah, you had a lot of deaths early on, and into 12 deaths versus NESCardinality 7. Now, the funny thing is, you both had different pieces of information that the other didn't. NESCardinality, you got sent back a couple of times by back attack knights because they had DL2 breath. Thilotilo, I don't think you took any deaths to knights, and I think on the other side of the spectrum, I could be wrong about this, Thilotilo, you took a few deaths to the Star Wyverns. I don't think NESCardinality. Did you know they had DL2 breath?
Star Wyverns? No,
I think it was actually the Magiwyvern.
Or Magiwyvern,
if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Yes, Magiwyvern sent me back a few times. Those are the 2 enemies I found with the breath.
Never saw that with. I got sent back by a Magiwyvern the one time I accidentally attacked, but a Knight I managed to get first strike on every time I saw one, and
Yep.
so I never saw the DL2 breath.
Yep, they had it, and you got lucky on that aspect. Well, speaking of being lucky, one of the rare times the Fun Police evidently they were on a donut break. We never saw them.
It's true, I never saw one anywhere.
You finished on 15 as well?
No, I went to 16. I got half of it and then stayed at Cantlin and then got the other half on the way down, just in case.
Okay. I figured when I was just finishing there, the odds of a 40 of getting fire or me taking 48 damage was 1 in 16, so the back-to-back 48s was a 1 in 256 shot. I was willing to take those odds.
Yeah, I think that was probably appropriate in the situation, but every once in a while, the DL2 is just going to get you.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, it all depends how many heal mores you have left, and from what the commentators were telling me, it sounds like it was correct to attack there. Because you still might have needed like another leeway, an extra heal more in the middle later in case you like rolled a low heal more or something like that. I think it was correct to attack there for sure.
Oh, absolutely. It was just disappointing to see it happen. But regardless, GG. I'm used to losing to NESCard in the tournament. I just hope tradition holds, because after I lose to NESCard, my next loss is always to Zarnax. And if you look at the way the brackets go, I can't meet up with Zarnax for a long time, so hopefully that bodes well for me.
Oh man, best of luck to you then. That's awesome.
So any final thoughts from either of you? That was we didn't talk about the start much, but you've got that double key start and then Sword in the Treasury, so there's some stuff going on there. But just in general, any thoughts that either of you had on the rest of the seed?
I showed admirable restraint by doing a minimal gold grind after getting the sword. I think I only got enough for magic armor and large shield, and I was really happy with that decision. I was so worried about exploration because Mountain was so close to Grave, and I didn't find it until later, and it had the armor, which was my last piece, but obviously there are all sorts of exploration issues on a map like this with such far distances that have to be walked.
Well, in addition to that, until I believe it was level 8 or 9, it was still in HP in the high 30s, so that was causing a problem as well. Couldn't survive hurt more or breath, so that was causing some issues too.
And we didn't have any healing spells.
Yes.
And no grind spot either, no good Hurtmore grind spot.
That was a pretty nasty start for something with Hurtmore and Erdrick Sword that early. It really, really was a lot like the seed, or the seed we ran last night. There was so many similarities between those two.
Indeed. And when the dust settled, it was still a jet seed. We were still in Charlock after just a little over an hour.
And I made a couple of mistakes in this one that I played yesterday and went, okay, I need to know if this situation comes up, not to do it, because the exact same thing happened. I tried to attack a Warlock, it DL2 breathed me back yesterday. I said, okay, next time that happens, throw a Hurtmore at it. And then today I swung, it sent me back. Not like that was the difference, but it was just funny how much this mirrored that one, and the mistakes did as well. Yeah, I only grinded up actually to enough for full plate and large shield, so I agree. It's hard not to push that, but I just didn't want to spend too much time trying to chase anything else when you have Erdrick Sword and can start racking up experience.
I guess I should tell you, if you went at 15, at 16 we got 8 more power, but 0 HP, so we still had the same slight deficit. But I didn't realize with 127 we would have as much as 96. I thought it would be 95. So that was pretty comfortable with the extra 8 power.
Yeah, it actually ends up, there's actually a round up in the math, just because what it does is it rather than taking 75%, it takes 100% and then subtracts 25%, and so the way the rounding works, it actually ends up rounding up based upon that math. So
gotcha. So yeah, I was still cautious about going at 95, 96, but at 16, even if it was 95, I still would have been confident that it was the right thing to try. So just an interesting situation there.
All right, now Teal, you are not out of it yet. You go down into the bonus bracket. Your next opponent will either be Jay Coper or the Seawolf 1, and of course, both very, very tough opponents. Seawolf taking down the #1 seed, Mr. Holmes, last week. And of course, Jay Coper, one of the kings of the nightlies when it comes to randomizer. Doesn't matter what randomizer you give him, he is one of the best in the business. So it should be a good matchup either way, and we wish you the best of luck in that.
Yeah, Jay Coper, the one who beat NESCardinality last year, versus Seawolf, the one who beat Mr. Holmes this year. So I'll have my work cut out for me either direction.
Yeah, just to add to that, Jay Coper beat me by winning at either 88 or 89 HP, something like that. And just within the past week, he won another race where he went at 89 HP. And he wasn't the only one, but I knew when I saw that it was possible to win at that level that he would for sure do it. I took an extra level and he finished ahead of me. And so he's definitely one to watch out for with those opportunities.
No question about it. Your next opponent, NESCardinality, in the winners quarterfinals is either going to be DK9146 or an opponent you're definitely familiar with in the nightlies, Smashy.
Cool. Cool. Should be fun.
Absolutely. So a GG to the both of you. A very fine and competitive race, and we wish you both good luck in your next match.
Thank you so much, and thank you for putting this on, and GG Tilo.
GG NESCard. Yeah, thank you all for putting this on. Thanks for everybody, NESCardinality, and everybody else for being flexible and allowing us to kind of throw an audible here at the end to get around the IRL issues of the other racers. So I appreciate everybody kind of coming together and getting this show on the road.
Absolutely. So that seems like a good time to mention our helpers for tonight. Lord of the Synth. Without him, we wouldn't be putting this on for you on RPG Limit Break. NYC Guy doing the tracking tonight. So thanks to both of them, and thanks to both of you for being able to race tonight so we could still have some tournament action this Monday.
Thank you. Looking forward to more friendly races over the week as well. Possibly tonight.
All right, thank you very much. Please make sure you give both of our runners, Thilotilo and NESCardinality, a follow. A tremendous race tonight. And I do want to point out that our next race coming up will be tomorrow night right here on RPG Limit Break at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Brian Williams 42 versus Monsieur Slime with High Spirits and Z-Man on the call. Should be a good one, Archfield.
Oh man, looking forward to it. We've got so many good races coming up this week. We've got back into the winners bracket here, and we've got some elimination races coming for you too. So just a good week of action all around, I think.
Absolutely. So for that is going to draw our coverage here of the Dragon Warrior Randomizer tournament to a close on RPG Limit Break. For our two racers tonight, NESCardinality and Thilotilo. For our trackers, Jizel NYC Guy. For our restreamer, Lord of the Synth. And for my commentator partner, Archfield Monk. I'm LOZ Cards Fan 23. Have a great night. We will see you again tomorrow night for more exciting DWR Randomizer action.